20 seconds. We're coming on now.
All right, it's got about 10 seconds.
10 seconds, okay. Countdown, guys, about 10 seconds.
Good morning, WMBM listeners. I am Dr. Karen Lewis, licensed broker with K1 Realty Group. And thank you all for joining us at 11 a.m. this morning. Glad to have you. Again, I'm Dr. Karen Lewis, licensed broker with K1 Realty Group. And thank you for coming and joining us on Real Estate Radio. If you want to contact me, my social media information, everything is K1 Realty Group. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook business page, all of it. And if you want to call in because you have a question or you have a comment, you can reach us at 855-599-WMBM. That WMBM stands for 9626. Give us a call. We want to hear from you today. Jacqueline, it's your turn on the mic.
Good morning, everyone. I am Jacqueline Williams. I am the co-host of the Real on Real Estate. And I am sitting here with the fabulous Dr. Karen Lewis.
That's me. Thank
yes,
you, Jacqueline.
That is you. If you need to reach me, you can reach me at 770-256-1080. And that's Jacqueline Sales Homes at gmail.com. And I am also licensed in Georgia, guys. So reach out to us. We have a great show. And we're going to get started with that show this morning.
Yes. Also, my phone number is 954-248-9149. And we're going to dive right on into the show today. Jacqueline, I was listening to a webinar this week, and I want to share with our listeners is that there is so much money that's getting ready to come out, different programs where money is available. So if you're looking for any down payment assistance program, you definitely, this is the time that you do want to call us. I know August 17th, the city of Miami, they're going to be taking applications for the mortgage assistance program. But again, the webinar talked about the different down payment assistance programs that they do have. So you can reach out to us so we can share information with you. You may live in Broward County, you may live in Dade County or Palm Beach, but wherever you live, we're going to fit you up and show you where the money is at. That's what you want to know. Show me the money.
Show me the money.
We want to show you the money.
Show me the money.
What's going on in our community other than we want to show them the money, Jacqueline?
Well, of course, we know school's getting ready to start back, so I hope all you parents are ready for school to be starting back soon. I think it's August 17th. It's going to be starting, August 19th in Broward, and in Dade, August 31st. So parents, get ready, have your kids ready. I know it's been difficult over these last few months with our kids and school, but just know that it's going to be good. It's going to be fine. We're going to all get through this together. So just be prepared. Have your kids prepared. If there is anything you need, you can also reach out to us as well. We do have a few back to school supplies. So if you need anything, just reach out to Dr. Karen Lewis or myself, Jacqueline Williams, and we'll take it from there.
We normally every year we do K1 Realty Group, we do a back to school supplies, and this year we did not do it because of all of what's going on. But we participate. I'm in the organization National Association of Real Estate Brokers, and so we do have back to school supplies. So if there is a need for somebody that needs school supplies, please do not hesitate to give us a call. Again, I'll share my number, 954-248-9149, because we want to do everything that we can to help children transition into what we call our new normal right now, especially with kids talking about it going to school, and they're doing that virtual online. I didn't hear the story, but I didn't hear the full story, but I heard a kid was on doing a Zoom on the school, and then there was a shooting in the background. Again, I didn't get details, but it's our new norm, and we want to try and make it as smooth as possible. And each one of us have a part to play. So if you do need school supplies or something, don't forget to reach out to us. Okay. Jacqueline, we are the guest again. You're the guest, and I'm the guest today on the show. And we're going to have a great time with us just being the guest. We're going and this is my topic today, Jacqueline, is that we want to talk about with buyers, home buyers. In the next show, we're going to talk about topics on how to help you from having your house go into foreclosure. Because once Governor Santos lift that release where people are going to have evictions and foreclosure, and they may come out, we want to just share some tips with you all. So don't be afraid, because it's our job to share information so that you can keep your home. And today we're going to highlight, talk about some things with buyers. And one of the things that we want to, the key in when you're talking about purchasing a home, you always want to be educated. Stop thinking that it's the real estate agent's responsibility or the lender's responsibility to know everything. Right. So Jacqueline, we want to share some components of the contract.
Yes, we're going to talk about the purchase and sale contract this morning. And it's very important that we disclose stuff to you, and it's very important that you pay close attention when we are sharing this information with you. And also it's important that you read yourself once you get that contract and we go over with you, so that you'll have a better understanding. We in Florida, we use the as-is contract, guys. And the as-is contract, it does favor the buyer. It does favor the buyer. So with that being said, the contract is set up a few different ways, and we're going to talk about that this morning. We're going to talk about the components of a good offer. We're going to talk about the timelines and deadlines. We're talking about cash versus financing, and we're going to get into that. And I'm going to ask Karen, what do you consider a good offer for a buyer to
Okay, so I'm like from the first grade, so let's forget that doctor on me. You got to take me to the first grade. So with that, so let's talk about that contract. So in the state of Florida, there are three contracts, three types of contracts that we use. Now, the main contract that real estate agents they use what we call is the as-is contract. And when you have the as-is contract, now remember, if you're listening and you want to purchase a home, you are beginning to become an educated buyer. So you're going to be able to tell your real estate agent and ask your real estate questions that the average person won't ask. So when you have that as-is contract, the seller has no obligation to repair anything. So the buyer can cancel that contract within the inspection period or any other contingencies that they may have. And what a contingency is, it is simply saying that this has to take place, A has to take place before we can push the contract forward to the next point. So with that, let's go back and we're going to talk about that as-is contract. Even though it's an as-is contract, doesn't mean that when you go and have your inspection and the roof is caving, yes, we know that you signed an as-is contract, but as your agent, we're going to go back to that other agent and say, okay, I understand that this is an as-is contract. My buyer wants to move forward with that property. Yes, they want it, but they don't want to pay for that roof caving in. They don't want to do that. So now I'm going to go back to the agent and say, hey, real estate agent B, my buyer wants to move forward, but we want to have a conversation on, we want your seller to be able to do something. And at that point, it is up to the seller to say, yes, I will do something. Let's just say hypothetical, they say, I want you to give me $5,000. So the seller says, I will give the $5,000. Or the seller will say, no, I'll give half of the $5,000. Or the seller will say, absolutely not. I'm not giving anything. The house is sold as is. You take it or you leave it. Now at that point, then the buyer can make a decision on what works for them.
Right.
So that's why we use the as-is contract, so that the buyer can pull out during the inspection period if they want to. And also another thing to keep in mind that's important, even though let's say for instance you have the closing date, the property, you're supposed to close August 17th next week, August 17th. And you don't close the deal. Normally, when I first got into real estate, I used to think this was straight crazy. But the contract says I'm supposed to close August 17th. So if I don't close, then it's over. Well, it's not really over.
Right.
It's what happens is that even though you didn't close, now they want to see if the buyer or seller who breached the contract. And then you have to get it and you have to dig into more details. That's why you have to be educated, and you better make sure that whatever real estate agent that you choose, that they are educated, they are knowledgeable of the contract, and they are knowledgeable of all the rules that goes behind it. You want to add anything before we jump into the offer on a good offer?
Well, oh, Dr. Karen, you love to talk. So
I know.
Sometimes I get left out, guys. If I don't jump in, I will just be on the sideline, but it's okay because we're in this together.
You see, so Jacqueline, outside of real estate, that's what makes you a good team.
Yes.
You have to understand your team player, right?
You have to understand your team player. I'm okay with my team player taking the lead and being up front and having a conversation, because she is an awesome team player, and I love that about her. So that's awesome, guys. She's an awesome team player.
I had to laugh at that. That's good, though. At least you know that. Okay, so.
Yes, I do.
All right.
But no, I don't really have to add anything. I think you basically covered everything. It's the buyer's the contract is geared toward the buyer being able to get out, with the and get their earnest money back as far as contingencies and everything else. So with that being said, I think it's time to get into the earnest money component at this time, or the good faith offer.
Okay, what's a good offer? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So she asked me, what is a strong offer? So let me talk about what is a strong offer. Number one is that they're looking at the purchase price. If the property is listed at $400,000 and you say, I want to put in an offer for $200,000, then as your real estate agent, I'm going to say that's not a strong offer, and I'm going to tell you, put in a decent purchase price. At least put in, your real estate agent can do what we call comparables and see what the market is going for. So let's say the list price is $400,000, and then you want to put a good offer. So what you do is tell your agent to do the comparables and see what the property value is worth. And what if she comes back or he comes back and say it's worth $350,000? Well, the seller is gonna, kind of like still looking for 400, even though they may know that it's not appraised out. But what the agent does is also send the comparables over with that $350,000 price to show that this is why you're doing it. Because just because you're putting a property at the list price for 400, that does not make it a strong offer.
No, and there's a lot of other stuff, that plays a role in that as well. Just like Dr. Lewis said, if you do make that offer for $350,000 and you have a good agent that's done a CMA, that comparable, and the seller is just stuck on, they want $400,000, and if you're getting financing, then that's another thing that plays a huge role in that contract, because that means you'll have to come up with that extra money.
Exactly.
And at that point, a lot of people just don't have $50,000 laying around to say, I'm going to come up with it. And I with that being said, I think we have I have to tell this story because this happened to me. I have some good clients in Atlanta. They are awesome. And
you said, wait, I gotta put you on pause. You mean our clients are not good in Florida?
No,
we represent, right? Florida.
We represent.
Okay, I got you.
But I'm just saying, I was in Georgia at
Right.
the time, and I referred a deal to a agent here, and the agent wrote the deal. You know, nice offer, and the house didn't appraise, guys. The house didn't appraise, and she did not put a financing contingency in there, and my clients lost $25,000
Wow.
of their earnest money. 25,000. So it's very important, guys, for you to have a great agent. Not a good agent, a great agent. Because if they're not knowledgeable of certain things and certain contingencies and certain things when they make that offer,
Right.
you know, that can happen. And, you know, I should have been more up on it as well. I should have not been as trusting, you know, so that taught me a lesson to always, even if I refer something out, I'm going to be hands-on that deal with all my clients, whether I refer it to Nebraska, Chicago, you know, wherever. I'm going to always make sure as I send that referral to also make sure I'm representing that
Right.
client, even though I'm not the actual agent that's the front person on the deal. So that's important.
Right.
It's very
right,
important.
right. Especially when you have someone
So-
putting down $25,000
Yeah.
in earnest money.
Yeah.
You know, and going back to you said about when the property didn't appraise out and who has $50,000. Well, if you even have $50,000,
Yeah.
I would not recommend, but
No.
as always, and my disclaimer, one size does not fit all, because I've seen it both ways though. But if the property appraises out less, if it's less than what you wrote the contract on, then you really don't want to come out of your pocket with $50,000. And the bank will not finance it.
No.
You know, I wanted to say this too, because this is what, you know, some buyers will ask Jacqueline. This is just a side note. When you are approved for $400,000 and you purchase a house for $300,000, you can't take that difference, that $100,000 off the your approval, to say you can do something else with it. No. Once you purchase that house, then that pre-approval, that approval, that's gone. So you
Yeah.
can't take it. So if you qualify for $400,000, that means that you can use up to $400,000. But if you decide that you only want to purchase a house for $300,000, then that's it. You can't put the $100,000 in your pocket. You can't use the $100,000 to do any kind of rehab work or anything.
No, you can't use it for
You can't do
anything,
anything.
you know, at all, actually. You know, some people do get a loan outside of that because they know they were approved for that amount, but it's still, the house price is the house price. You cannot go above whatever the lender says that price of the house is. So you're absolutely right, Dr. Lewis, on
Right.
that.
So we know that the purchase price that makes a good offer. We know the amount of the earnest money,
Yes.
on how much you put in earnest money, how much you put down for a deposit to tell the seller, hey, I'm serious about it.
And what amount would you say is a good amount for a buyer to put down for earnest money?
Well, in the real estate world, it is standard. They say 1 to 2% of the purchase price.
Yes.
Me as an agent, I look at the situation. There goes my one size fit all. So sometimes I might throw the standard aside, but that is standard as a buyer. So if an agent, if you're working with an agent and they say, can you put down 1 or 2% of the purchase price, you can do that, or you can come back and say, well, I don't want to put ABC down. I don't want to
Right.
put that amount of money down. But the agent, again, they'll educate you as to why you should. But your decision, the only thing that we can do is make recommendations to you.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you make that final decision, and we have to honor what you say. The only thing that we will not honor if it's something illegal, but other than that, we will honor it.
Yeah, because a lot of, you know, nowadays with everything going on, people are getting down payment assistance money, so you don't really have, you know, with all of those opportunities out there now. Some people only have a limited amount of money to put down because of all the programs, but they're able to still get in a house. So that's good. You were saying about educating and talking to them, and every scenario is different. So
Right. Another thing too, Jacqueline, the closing date. That's another component that makes a
Yes.
strong offer. You can do 30 days closing. Some lenders, not all lenders, but a very good lender, they can close a loan 2 weeks to 3 weeks.
Yes.
But you can't do a strong offer and says that you want to have a closing date 3 months from the date you all sign the contract. That's a pretty weak offer because sellers don't like to keep their properties off the market unless, it's a benefit for them. They may
Correct.
not be moving, or a job relocation may not take place till 3 months or so, and then they're okay with that.
Right.
That's an acceptable offer for them.
Yeah. But timelines, as you were saying with the earnest money, that is very important as far as the closing date and even extensions and different, inspections and different things you have. All of those have dates to them, and those dates are very important. So with a good agent, she's going to give you a list of all the dates that you have during that contract. So you'll know that when your date comes, or your agent tells you that date is coming up, that you're already prepared.
Right.
As far as your inspection, you've done it, you've given the seller, anything that you want as far as
That's
fixing items.
excellent.
Yeah.
That's
So,
excellent, Jacqueline. You gave a super point. So here's a nugget that I want them to run with.
okay.
A timeline. If you are in a contract now, or you're getting ready to purchase a home, when the buyer and the seller signs the contract, make sure that your agent provides a timeline for you,
Yes.
so that you will know every date that something is supposed to take place.
Yes.
And you can't blame anybody else for something, because you have all the dates in
Yes.
place. And then you hold these people accountable, because if it doesn't happen during this time, then you can say, hey, well, what's going on with this right here? Why don't I have my loan approval? Why is my inspection? Why haven't you all called me to set up an appointment for the appraiser? So those different things. So make sure that your agent provides a timeline.
Yes.
Jacqueline, is there anything else that you want to say, since I ran my mouth the whole time? It's like, it's almost
It's
time to go.
okay.
We got about 2 more minutes,
We got
Jacqueline.
about 2
I'm
more
sorry.
minutes,
But
I
I
tell
love
you.
Jacqueline, because she always lets me run my mouth, because when you love real estate, you don't never stop talking.
And-
You never
yes.
stop talking.
Yes, and
So thank you, Jacqueline.
You're welcome. Yeah, I guess with that being said, cash versus financing, if you can just give a quick little snippet on that, very quick.
Cash versus financing. Well, if you pay cash, I can't give a quick snippet. Jacqueline, I'm talking too much.
I forgot.
But if you're
Dr.
paying
Lewis
cash,
here.
that
Dr.
means-
Lewis can't do that.
Wait, so let me give a quick snippet. If you're paying cash, you got plenty of money, so it's all good. But if you do financing, you get a lower interest rate
Yes.
right now at this point, though. I would have to just go a little deeper into that right there on a serious note, Jacqueline.
I know you can't. Though. It's time. It's
All
time.
right, all right. You want to give your number information out first, and then
Yes,
I'll go.
I got. Thank you for tuning in this morning. We greatly appreciate it. I am Jacqueline Williams with K1 Realty. You can reach me at 770-256-1080 or Jacqueline Sales Homes. You have a super duper weekend.
All right, okay, I'm Dr. Karen Lewis, licensed broker with K1 Realty Group, and thank you always for joining the Real on Real Estate Radio. Even though we don't get much phone calls, I hope that somebody somewhere out there got something that they can run with when it comes to home buying. You can give us a call for any questions, 954-248-9149, and don't forget to join us every first and third Saturday at 11 a.m. Make it a super day.